Hey Jake, let's talk dungeons. Sam can be essentially sitting here. Players are on this side. Camera here, and a camera where you are, and then a camera up here. Each one has to be able to roll longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And all of them have got to be 4K.
You know, people think making D&D shows is easy.
Player cams are always going to be on the wings of the DM, like this, knowing how big this damn table is going to be.
Now all we need is somebody to build the table. If only we knew somebody really good at building really cool things.
You would think designing a table is actually not that hard. You can't just have like a square table because that's terrible for shooting because it's really hard to get your angles correct.
We need the diagonal to help keep the players slightly on a similar focal plane.
And then what we're doing here is the game board is basically like right here.
We should have this entirely on sawhorses to like maximize the amount of leg room, and then also any wiring or anything I'm gonna do like just right up it.
I tend to do my games a little bit more linearly. You start on one side and the goals generally lead you to the other side of it by the end of the session. So it's nice having that massive terrain to scale. Start to finish, it's like reading a book. Now when it comes to like conceiving, like earlier, what's something cool? Finding a treasure would be cool. You know what's cool? Yetis. It'd be so cool to have a Yeti game. Are knights fighting cool? You literally don't even have to work to come up with that part. Just tap into something that you enjoy. So that's your seed, but you gotta actually bring that somewhere now. It's like, what's it gonna be about? Like what is cool knights fighting about? Or why are they fighting? You know, what are they fighting over? And so that's kind of where like the work comes in.
It all depends on the group.
I guess it's the group, especially when I know everyone here, so it's like, hey, I'm hanging out with a group of friends. What are we joking about?
Exactly.
You know? And like, how do we make a campaign that allows us to joke about the things that we'd be joking about normally? It's a social experience. It allows you to get into this game that is played completely in your imagination, and you have a head start on what the rules of that world are, because, you know, it resembles something you've experienced already.
This is a material called MDF, which is medium density fiberboard. You rarely have to sand it when you cut its edges. It doesn't splinter. If you're trying to build something on the cheap, you should use MDF. There is the table. It is a double-decker table. What we have here is a 3x6 surface, entirely filled with minis. Now begins the arduous process of joining the two together with standoffs. These are sawhorses. You usually use them to cut wood, but also to just hold up table surfaces. Table's complete.
When you structure a campaign, you basically throw a goal way in the distance that's going to be hard to complete or requires multiple sub-goals to reach. But the thing is the sub-goals is where the actual game resides. It's like you're writing a video game, except all the main plot points for the game could potentially come in any order. I wish there was like a writing app that was like web-based, where I could have nodes. Here's a character and what they do and what they're trying to accomplish. Here's another character. Oh, and also I want to link them because they have a conflict over here. Also, they have a conflict with the guy down here and the guy down here. There's a conflict this way. Sometimes you don't need a lot of stuff. Sometimes you just need a couple like main plot points, like 2 or 3 in a gaming session. And you just need to weave those 3 activities, so to speak, together. And just know that whatever direction they choose, there's something there.
Look at this, a nice surface. Pretty good. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of this.
We thought we were done with the table, and then we had people sit down. That's where everything changed.
We have to change the table.
We realized there was a dice trap. You take your die, you roll them on the table. The moment one goes under there, like unless you have like a fly swatter or something really long to like scoop stuff out, like
It's gone forever.
yeah, people are just gonna be losing stuff left and right underneath there. And we're like, oh gosh.
Oh, dice are definitely going to get stuck down here now. Filmmaking is problem solving, and you got to make sure you solve as many problems as possible before you roll the camera, because this show is going to be 4 terabytes a day.
We're basically back to like plan A, technically, which is building a recessed gaming area.
If it takes iteration, then you get a better product in the end. So that's where we're at.
The reason it's important we get the table right is because that's like the foundation for it all. If that doesn't work, nothing else does.
I built version 1 of the table in CAD, which means when we need to go to version 2, I went in and designed an interior slit. I'm gonna chop a hole about this size in here, and then we'll be looking down into it. The table does not get in the way, it facilitates, and that's what's most important here.
Sometimes players have better story ideas than you do. They walk up to a door and they knock on it and a voice answers and they're like, oh man, there's probably like this crazy dude in there. I had no plans to have that in the story. I didn't even think about it, but after they said that, I was like, yeah. And that's what you found. I try not to do it too much, and I try not to talk about it too much because it definitely ruins the illusion that this world is solid and has a foundation.
Foundations, they're very important. When you play D&D, an important foundation is the table that you play on. We just gotta make sure it's sturdy enough to withstand the chaos that is Corridor and Sam Gorski.
I went over to the fashion district, picked up some black felt to use for the interior. A thing that I've learned over the years is that revisions are going to happen. There are bad notes, there are notes that don't actually make the art better. This is not one of those times for me.
Ultimately, it is collaborative. Listening, being receptive, stealing the best ideas.
In the film industry, there's notes. There's just always notes.
It's kind of like I'm presenting the game to the players. They're giving me their notes and feedback on it.
You know, I've been working with Sam for a very long time. Every note he's always given is always to make the art better.
The game is always better as a result of that. I just want them to have fun. Like, that's the ultimate goal.
Ultimately, version 2 ended up being way more structurally integrated. The legs are made out of 2x4. It is strong, man. I can't wait to see how Sam utilizes it in the show.
The big centerpiece of the whole show, the table, it held up. It looked great, and it's a more flatter tire. Just the tire compressing absorbs a lot of energy, whereas if it doesn't compress as much, it.
Is it going down?
Where'd he go?
Did he go in the back?
He lost him.
Where you going, Daniel?
He disappeared.
So yeah, Natalie's work on the table held up great. Natalie, you did a great job. Pat yourself on the back.
The notes that Sam gave were good because I'm sitting on the table. Look, I'm laying on the table. Okay, I'm gonna go home, man.